Hey, what's up everybody? This is Joshua Casper. I'm here with Plugin Boutique, and today we're checking out the Atom Kontakt instrument by Audio Modern. This is an atmosphere instrument library that isn't just like atmospheres in terms of pads. Usually when you think of atmospheres, you might think of like lush, lengthy pads that just kind of float there in space. But this is actually a very complex instrument, and it's got over 6 gigabytes of sounds inside of it. So it's really, really big. Let's go ahead and check out some of these presets, and then I'm going to walk through the interface, which is pretty straightforward, but I think the real value of Atom are the sounds themselves, because especially when you get into the effects and the keys, they're all just really, really detailed and beautiful and just crafted expertly, and I'm really pumped about it. So let's go ahead and check some of them out. Let's go ahead and jump into one of these atmospheres. So you could just feel how large that is. It's just so well done. Let's check out another one here. And another thing that's really cool is that not all of the presets here are full instruments where you can play each one of the keys and it's just pitched up a semitone. Some of these are actually just atmospheric sound effects samples that you can use for various sorts of things. So let's go ahead and check out some of those, see if I can't find one or two. So that's a perfect example of what I was talking about. So the samples here are laid out over the keys, but they're not pitched samples. They're actually just clips that you can use to create atmosphere inside of your project. And that convolution reverb you hear is just so epic. And that is built right into the instrument itself. We'll get into that in a second. But let's go ahead and check out some of the keys and some of the other presets before we jump into the GUI. Really great sounding kicks right there. Each one of these presets just sounds fantastic. Some of the keys sound absolutely incredible as well. If I just come in here at the hammered EP, for example. And finally down here we have some synth presets as well. Okay, so I've just got a sequence loaded here. It sounds really great. It gives me inspiration immediately to start making a track using this as the kind of driving force. So from the main page here, we have the mix panel, which is where we can load up to 2 different sound sources inside of the instrument itself. So right now I've just got 2 instances of the diode sound sample inside of the sequencer here, but I can actually change that easily by just clicking over. And we can come in and actually, we have the full list of sounds right inside of here if I wanted to put some keys in there. Maybe tune it up so it's not so low on scale. So we've already got something new working here, and it was really easy to do. We've got fine tuning, the volume knob for each one of them, the larger tuning for, so we're going to go in semitones down here. We have the EQ, which can go on and off, and we can come in and dial in any of the EQ settings that we want for each one of the sample decks here. The attack, sustain, decay, and release times down here, straightforward stuff. And then there's a whole second set of options down here when you're inside of the mix panel, and that is the LFO, the filtering system, the mode. We've got mono, poly, legato, and then we have the glide function down here. There's also the master control, which is going to be your panning, your compressor if you want it. You could turn it on to give a little bit more beef if that's the way you need to go, and the overall output volume for the 2 of the sounds combined together. If you jump over to layer 1, we get more control over just that first layer. We've got a filtering system, we've got the stereo spread, chorus, lo-fi, delay, and that convolution reverb effects. There's actually 2 delay units. There's a stuttering effect and some unison. It's just a full range of control here. And you have those same sets of effects and parameters for each one of the layers independently. And then there's the arpeggiator tab, which is really cool, and I really like the way it's set out here. So if I go ahead and trigger this sequence one more time. And again, we can switch between the first layer and the second layer and control them independently. We can turn it off if we wanted to. Pretty straightforward stuff for anyone that's used any sort of arpeggio before or any sort of Kontakt instrument, really. What I think Atom really shines at is just the sound design of the presets themselves. You get, like I said, 6 gigabytes of sounds, and they all sound fantastic. I didn't run into one that I was like, that's not that good. I did not listen to one sound sample that sounded mediocre, never mind bad. So where this instrument shines again is the sound design and its ability to really actually create atmosphere easily and simply just by finding the right preset or even making your own using the layer designer. So I highly suggest checking this out. It's available right now on Plugin Boutique. The links are in the description of the video. I hope you learned something. We'll see you next time.